Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Eternal Flames. This is Blaze speaking, and I'm going to be working in the background. So, we're going to talk about something interesting today, and you guys may or may not agree with it, but this is something I have personally learned over years and years and years, and a couple of you who don't agree with it, you know what, I'm one of those people that I'm just going to say, you'll find out in due time, okay? So, get used to that idea. The program in the background is Sketchbook Pro. It's done by Autodesk, the people who bring you Maya 3D as well as Max, you know. And anyways, so basically we're going to talk about something very interesting. We're going to talk about character evolution. Now, the reason why character evolution is such a thing, that this needs its own personal topic, right, is all characters, regardless of who they are going to go through changes. Now, these changes are going to definitely differ from character to character, but they're going to change based off of looks, off of how they grow and learn and kind of grow up, and more often than not, also who the hell is writing them. So, I guess a good example is Blaze, my personal character, right? And how has Blaze changed over the years, right? Well, jeez, that just looks horrible. Let's try this again. Blaze throughout the years, right, has kind of grown in many different ways. One thing that's definitely grown is his personality. Now, how has his personality changed? Well, I'm not gonna say he's mellowed out. If anything, he's actually kind of gone the whole opposite way. He actually got more aggressive as time went on, which is almost kind of funny because I guess it's a reflection of, you know, daily stress and like my life and stuff like that, right? But to be more important than just that, it's the idea that he deals with a lot of problems, both personal and not so personal, and depending on how the story rolls, depends on how he needs to more or less react to what's going on around him. Now, this is a big thing, and this happens with all characters. I could talk about Shrek, I could talk about Aragon, I can talk about dozens of characters, and they all transform, but there's a specific reason why I'm using Blaze, okay, which, well, there's a couple of reasons actually. One, he's my personal character, and I'm hoping in due time you guys kind of get to know him, because personally he's a small chunk of myself kind of put into this wacky situation, you know? Anyways, so along with Blaze, we've got so many other characters, and they grow, but once again, the reason why I use him is he doesn't just show up in one story. This is a character that I almost want to say similar to Rumpelstiltskin, similar to Jack the Ripper over the ages. He has changed from story to story depending on how he was utilized. And that's a big thing. Is we can even look at My Little Pony. I mean, let's open that can of worms, right? My Little Pony has gone through some massive overhauls over the years. Hell, let's look at Transformers. Optimus Prime. Holy crap. That guy just... He's kind of gone back and forth. At one point he was this big truck. At another point he was a gorilla. Go watch Beast Wars if you haven't seen it yet. And they changed. They changed dramatically from story to story. And that's actually a big thing because these stories change so much about how they work as people, you know? And yeah, I use the word people even though Shrek, not really a person, he's an, he's an ogre. Optimus Prime is a robot. But think of this, think of how this all kind of affects everything. And now think of your own personal characters. Your character today, whatever their character may be, will change over time. They will change into something completely different and possibly something that you may not even want them to become, but they just turn that way. And this is a key point I'm trying to make with this video is these characters, these people that we create, that we put together, once we kind of set them loose on the world, once we kind of finalized how we see them and how they should be, they become a persona, a personality. A good example is the Joker. Now, we've defined the Joker in hundreds of ways. There are people who have completely revamped him, but just like with science, there are constants and then there are variables. What is a constant of the Joker? He's the enemy of Batman. What's another constant? Generally makeup, really fucked up hair, and he's got to have a suit. Okay, now he can wear other clothing, not saying he can't, but he's got to have a suit at some point or another that just kind of suits him up as this insane, provocative gentleman, someone who's lost their shit. Now, granted, we can go with, colors and stuff like that and say, well, it's got to be a purple suit and stuff like that, but we've seen him in stuff that's other than purple. We've seen him in black and, things like that, right? So, that I guess that's not necessarily true. But it needs to be a suit, right? That's a key thing. So, constants and variables, your character is going to stay at least somewhat the same, okay? They're going to grow into something, but they're going to stay at least somewhat true to themselves. Now, how will they change? Well, once again, we could use the Joker, we could use Shrek, we could use Blaze, but truth be told, it's going to depend on what you put them through. Different characters are like people. They're going to go through so much more than others will. They're gonna change shape and change form based off of what they themselves have to deal with. They're more or less people that we create to put forth, different efforts and things like that. Okay? And regardless of how we plan to, put them together, right? They are going to change into their own person. I guess a good example of Blaze is he's, I don't want to call him an unexpected hero because he wants to be a hero. In his case, what has changed is the fact that actually the exact opposite. He started prioritizing because while he does want to save everyone, he knows that there are going to be cases where he can't, and he will only resort to this in the last ditch effort. But there are definite shows where he changes. A good example being Kyrie. Kyrie's more or less his lover, and hopefully you guys get to know her as well, but essentially he'll always prioritize her over anyone else. And it's not because he cares not for other people, it's the fact that he cares so much for her that without her he can't function. He's no longer himself, and he knows this. Let's look at another character, Shrek. Once he met Fiona, without Fiona he loses himself. He almost falls apart at the seams, and I guess the final Shrek movie actually shows this. He doesn't know how to be him anymore without that other person. We can go down lists of characters: Batman and Robin. I literally just want to kind of run down a list, but I guess Tony Stark and Pepper. Yeah, I just went there. Where is Tony without Pepper after he makes a certain leap, right? You know, he could live without her, but how much would he change without Pepper? Would he fall into a dismal state? I mean, these are all good questions, and these are all questions we need to ask. So, this is pretty much what I want to get at, and this is pretty much how I want to set you guys up. And granted, you know, we could go so much more into this. I mean, by all rights and means, I could go super in depth in this. Yes, I get it. And, oh, it was over there. Interesting. I didn't know they put it over there. Sorry, new version of the program. Sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. Anyways, no. From here on out, I want you guys as creators and writers and artists to consider that fact. You are creating people who will go off to make their own lives. Will they have these lives without you? Not likely. You have to be there for their lives. You become a part of their life. And when you stop becoming a part of your life, if you're really, really lucky or really good at making your character, someone else will actually pick it up. A good example being Batman, Superman, all these, you know, loving characters. But more than just that, they have to have someone with them. It's not possible for them to be without. Nope, didn't mean to do that. So keep that in mind. Enjoy your characters, enjoy their love, enjoy what they are, and just remember that no matter what, they will become the people that you start them off to be, and they will change based off their own whims and desires. And unless you recreate them from the ground up, and I literally mean from the ground up, they have to have whole new lives and become a whole new person, they're just going to change on their own. They're going to grow. Their stories will write themselves. And you will find amazing things amongst these people. This has been Blaze from the Eternal Flames. I thank you all for watching. Stop by anytime. If you like our videos, feel free to hit like or subscribe. And if you guys want to have a discussion, or maybe you want to see a discussion about art or stuff,